Henry Giroux and I spoke of how zombies are an appropriate metaphor for a society whose political, media, and financial institutions are without a soul. They walk a world in which the lust for power and wealth corrupts absolutely and sucks away real life. We know a lot about zombies here at Moyers & Company. Not that there are any on our production team that we know of, but because one of our editors, our friend and colleague Rob Kuhns, has made a mesmerizing documentary about the creation of George A. Romero's movie classic, Night of the Living Dead. It's the granddaddy of all the zombie movies and TV shows so popular today. What's striking about the documentary, entitled Birth of the Living Dead, is how Rob Kuhns places the 1968 movie in its particular place and time, when civil unrest and violence gave the nation nightmares, and zombies were a metaphor for an American public deeply troubled and distressed.
In the time that The Night of the Living Dead came out, you don't feel safe in your home anymore. You know, there are things that are overtaking us over which we have no control. And there's that fear, and I think that the zombie apocalypse takes inspiration from that fear, and it's why audiences connect with it in a way that is not quite obvious on the surface, but is really in the subtext.
It's an unsettling element of the movie that the people who seem most likely to be able to thwart this incursion of the living dead, it looked like a lynch mob. The resonance for people who would have spent the last 10 years watching, you know, white Southerners vow to prevent the desegregation of schools, for instance, it would have been really pretty clear. And dogs in Night of the Living Dead, there's a very specific cultural resonance. You know, black men being chased by dogs is one of the ugliest images of the civil rights movement and was very much part of the national visual vocabulary of any moviegoer other than a very little kid who would have gone to see this movie. And again, it connects to this idea that it's not as simple as the good guys versus the undead. There are the good guys, the not good guys, and the living dead.
They seem to be getting a certain amount of pleasure out of putting down these monsters and being able to go out and hunt people and lynch people.
They seemed really real to me. They felt real, those guys. I wasn't sure they were actors.
It's a really interesting, squirmy political aspect of the movie that's intentionally unsettling. I think Romero wants you to feel uncomfortable with the fact that the so-called victors at the end of the movie are exactly the kind of people you're inclined not to root for.
You can find out how to see the entire Birth of the Living Dead and learn more about it at our website, billmoyers.com.